Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I of course am the FPL Train, and in today's video I'm going to be revealing my team selection ahead of Game Week 9. Now you may have noticed when you clicked on the thumbnail, this is a very short team selection video compared to normal. Well, if you've ever actually watched some of my videos, but anyway, this is a very short video than what I'm usually doing because I'm actually on holiday, so I can't reveal how I got on in Game Week 8. So I'm actually recording this video before Game Week 8 is even started, so hopefully not much of it's out of date. Now I've done obviously some checks on certain players that I was debating about taking out, and it looks like they're going to be fit for Game Week 8, so fingers crossed that did happen. So going into Game Week 9, if I hadn't, and I'm pretty sure I haven't made any transfers, I should have 3 transfers to make this game week, and I'm going to be making one, that is for sure. The other 2 I'm not quite sure about, but anyway, we'll go through my team now then. So starting us off in goal, I have, obviously I'm going to go for Martinez in goal with Bournemouth at home. My backup keeper don't play, even though he does have Ipswich at home, which would have been nice to have had, but I'm hopeful that Martinez can keep a clean sheet here against Bournemouth. Obviously, I don't know how he got on Game Week 8, but fingers crossed he got another clean sheet. That would have been 2 in a row and making it 3. But if he doesn't, hopefully against Bournemouth at home, he can do that. Now, my defence, it doesn't look promising, does it, for this game week? So, obviously, Liverpool and Arsenal play each other, and I've got a Liverpool and an Arsenal defender. Now, I could transfer one of those out, possibly Gabriel. But the question is, who do I want to bring in instead? I could go for a Man City defender, possibly, but I don't fancy that, if I'm being honest. So where else could I look? And I've looked at the fixtures, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. The only teams that are probably decent to go for is probably Everton and Fulham. Everton I don't like. I just don't see him keeping over clean sheets. But Fulham, I could possibly bring back Anthony Robinson and take out Gabriel. Or I could take out Virgil van Dijk. Now, I'll probably keep Virgil just because Liverpool have done really well defensively, better than Arsenal have this season. But Gabriel scored 2 goals. So at the minute, going into this game week, I've got both of them. But if I'm to transfer one of them out, Virgil or Gabriel, it's probably going to be Gabriel because obviously he's got Liverpool coming up, then he's got Newcastle, Chelsea and Forest who have done well so far this season. So they're coming into a tricky patch, so I'm not quite sure. I might just leave it and just go sod it. We'll roll with it. But for now, I've got those 2 starting. And of course, I've got Rico Lewis. Now, like I said, don't know how Game Week 8 got on. So I'm hoping he started for Man City against Wolves. Well, no, my luck he didn't. But if he didn't start, then again, this is a transfer that I might have to make because I can't really risk having him on the bench week in, week out. But I'm hoping he does start. But if he doesn't start, look, I've got quite a lot of money in the bank. I've got 3.2 million in the bank. So what I would do is I'll take Lewis out and just go for maybe like a Guardiola instead. But for now, I've got Lewis starting in my back line, which means I'm going to leave Delo and Ockley on the bench. I certainly don't trust Man United's defence. Obviously, I don't know how I'll go on again against Brentford, but I have a worrying feeling they might have got battered. But even if they didn't, I just don't see them keeping back-to-back clean sheets ever. And obviously, Leicester City, they have a tricky fixture against Forest. It's a derby game. I think I'm going to be leaving that one well alone. Moving on to my midfielders, and it's going to be a 4-man midfield yet again. So same as the week before. Again, I'm going to be starting Smith Rowe ahead of Semenyo just because Everton away is a much better fixture than Aston Villa away. So that one makes sense. But obviously there is a change. There is a transfer that I have made. And I have taken out Saka. Now going into Game Week 8, he was the one I was thinking about getting rid of. And bringing in Phil Foden for Game Week 8. But before I went away, before I jumped on the plane, Arteta said he will be, well, he looks like he's going to be fit for Bournemouth. So I've kept Saka in my team for Game Week 8. So as you can imagine, I'm probably sitting on my lounge here on holiday, buzzing that Saka started, or I'm absolutely seething about the fact that he was on the bench. But regardless of that, my plan is to take Saka out for game week 9 and bring in Phil Foden, just purely based on the fixtures that Arsenal have got and Man City's got some decent ones. I mean, particularly this game week. They've got Southampton, you know, at home. This is probably the best fixture you can have on the calendar. Now, I don't know if Phil Foden started against Wolves. I'm really hoping he did, because if he did, then I'm more and more confident that he's going to be starting at Southampton. So, yeah, I've gone for Phil Foden. So that means I'm tripled up on Man City, because, shock, you know, I'm going to have Haaland in my team. But, yeah, Phil Foden's going to be in my team for game week 9. So, providing I haven't made a defensive change so far, it leaves me then with 4 million in the bank. So I've got plenty of money to spend at this moment in time. I've got obviously Mbeumo, who's got Ipswich at home. That's a no-brainer. Hopefully he can continue his form after this international break we've just had. Great season so far. Hopefully it continues. And I've got obviously Rodgers in my midfield, who's got Bournemouth at home. So hopefully he keeps starting. Interesting fixture that one is, though, to be fair. I think Bournemouth, although they've not started off amazingly, I don't think they're actually a bad team at all. So it's going to be a tricky one, but obviously I am going to be starting him ahead of Semenyo, just because, I mean, yes, Semenyo's looked good this season, but he is away from home, whereas Rodgers is going to be playing at home. And so that leads me on to my front three then. So I've got India still in Dyer. I still can't remember how to say his name. I should really look it up, but I can't be bothered. But I've still got him up front. He's got Fulham at home. That's a decent fixture. I say decent. It's a tricky one because Fulham have actually started off quite well. Don't know how we got on again, game week 8, but hopefully did quite well against Ipswich, and that continues. I'm not going to be taking out of my team because Fulham is obviously game week 9, and then after that he's got the likes of Southampton coming up in game week 10. So for sure he will be staying in my team in this game week. Erling Haaland, obviously Southampton at home. Obviously he is going to be my captain for this game week. That is an absolute no-brainer for me because, you know, like I just said before, it's the easiest fixture on the calendar. So could be a lot of goals in this one. Fingers crossed, you know, mostly from Phil Foden, I hope. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. But no, my luck with Haaland this season, he'll probably blank now. He's my captain. And that, obviously, my final player then is Kai Havertz of Arsenal, who's got Liverpool. So this is obviously an option. I could decide on whether to get rid of him because, like I've mentioned a few times in this video already, Arsenal have got a horrible run of fixtures coming up. So do I really want to go for Kai Havertz in this game week? And who do I replace him with? That has been the thinker. The most notable one I could do in terms of this game week coming up is that Forest have got Leicester City. So I could go for a Chris Wood, who started off really well this season. That is an option. I could go for Liam Delap, although he's got Brentford this week. He's got Leicester the following game week. So that is also something to think about. Maybe even a Jamie Vardy, perhaps. Those are the standout ones. Or I could get Cunha in. Now that is something I'm really thinking about because I've already been talking about bringing him in possibly. The fact is he's got Brighton. Now Brighton are a really, really good team, right? They're a really good team. They started quite well, but they do leak in goals. And Cunha, and for Wolves, his fixtures after this game week, he's got the likes of Palace, Southampton, Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, Ipswich, and Leicester coming up. So he's going to go on a mega good run. So for me, I might be doing this one. This one is a serious possibility. Obviously, it all depends on how game week 8 goes on. So if Havertz, you know, is absolutely smashing against Bournemouth, got an hat-trick, I'm not taking him out for game week 9, right? But if he has a stinker, then I'm going to be going, you know what, I don't need Arsenal players at this moment in time. I don't need to have... I mean, currently I've got 3 Arsenal players. You know, obviously I'm taking Saka out for Foden. I could take Gabriel and I could take Havertz out. So I could actually end up with no Arsenal players by the start of game week 9, which would be absolutely crazy. But yeah, the thing I'm thinking about most is bringing in Cunha for Havertz. So yeah, that is what I'm thinking ahead of game week 9. So yeah, that is how my team is currently set up then for game week 9. So obviously Phil Foden is pretty much a 95% certainty. Depends on how he starts in game week 8. If he doesn't start, I'll have to reevaluate and see who started for Man City and go from there. But I'm really hoping he does start because Phil Foden is the one I want for game week 9. Still not 100% sure on whether to do a defensive change, but Kai Havertz looks like he could be coming out of my team, and I will possibly bring in Cunha of Wolves just because of the fixtures. Long term look amazing, and he's a quality player. So that does leave me with one free transfer left. Do I take Gabriel out or do I take Virgil van Dijk out for game week 9? That is the biggest question. But again, like I mentioned, what defender is Ellsworth going for? The best one I can think of at this moment in time is Anthony Robertson, but it doesn't sound amazing, does it? Because let's face it, Arsenal are good enough to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea. So that's something to think about. And obviously, like I mentioned already, Liverpool have had probably the best defence so far this season. So let me know what you think of this team. You could probably go mad and tell me I'm completely wrong, because quite a few players got sent off in game week 8 and got injured, and my team's really bad. Or, you know, it could be amazing. So yeah, let me know what you think of this team coming up for game week 9. Let me know what your teams are like for game week 9. Let me know what transfers I should probably be making ahead of this game week. And please, well, before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.